I failed on YouTube, not once, not twice, but 3 times. But I'm here today to tell you how you can scale your YouTube channel from 0 to 100K subscribers in just 90 days. And if you stick around till the end of this video, I'm gonna give you some amazing tips that will help you to avoid the same traps that I fell into while building out my first channel. But I also want to introduce you to a new way of using YouTube where views and subscribers don't even matter. That's right, I said it. Views and subscribers do not even matter. In my case, I failed at YouTube 3 times. And it wasn't till I finally cracked the code of YouTube that I went from invisible and insecure to building a channel that hit 360,000 subscribers, with 100,000 of those in just 90 days. But like I said before, it is not all about views and subscribers. Yes, the more that you have can always help you, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing that I learned after having grown to 360,000 subscribers is that I needed to build a real business behind the channel. I grew so quickly that I had no plan in place when I finally hit that amount of subscribers. And in all reality, I felt like a lot of my views just went to waste. What I needed was a real business with real clients and real results. But not just real results, I needed real revenue and real freedom. And that's when I developed the system that changed everything, the Lion Strength system. Today, I am not going to gatekeep anything. I'm gonna show you the real reason why most creators fail and end up spinning their wheels in the long run. This is what separates the 3% of people that actually succeed in this and the rest that are just lost and don't know what they're doing. And I'm going to take you through the specific steps so that you can join that 3% in victory. If you've been struggling to grow on YouTube, feeling invisible in your industry, and wondering if you even have what it takes, this video is for you. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. How many YouTube gurus have you seen who show you their subscriber count, but can't show you that they actually have a sustainable business behind it? Or worse, they're making money, but they're trapped. They're working 80 hours a week, constantly stressed about the next viral video with no real business behind their brand. And most of them may not even have a personal brand. That was almost me. And if you're not careful, it could be you too. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. YouTube success without business success is just a fancy hobby. So today, I'm not just showing you how to grow a channel. I'm showing you how to build a business that happens to use YouTube as its primary growth engine. A growth engine that will continue to grow and sustain your business throughout the years. All right, so here's the truth. My first failure happened because I thought that YouTube was just like any other social media platform. I would post random videos about whatever I felt like talking about that day. I had no real strategy behind it. I was just posting what came to me on that same day. One day I would be giving some random tips or hacks, and then the next day I would be giving some sort of advice that I really wasn't even that sure of. It seemed like I was saying stuff that I just thought I had to say on YouTube. Then of course I'd throw in some motivational content because why not, right? I had zero strategy whatsoever. No understanding of how to niche down, no understanding of what a personal brand even was. I had no consistency and definitely no clue about YouTube's algorithm and how it works. The result, after about 6 months, I had almost nothing. My subscriber count was low, my views were low, I had no comments, and I was frustrated and burnt out. And I'm pretty sure that the subscribers that I did have were family members and friends. And worse than that, I think they just felt sorry for me. But the worst part wasn't the numbers, it was the self-doubt. I started questioning everything that I was doing. I started thinking things like, maybe I'm just not cut out for this, or maybe I don't have anything valuable to say. maybe I should just stick to my day job and give up on my dreams. So what did I do? I deleted my channel and I started from scratch. This time I was going to be smart about it. I found successful creators in my space and decided to just copy what they were doing and put my own twist on it. I started studying video. I started using the same video formats, similar thumbnails, and I even tried to copy some of their speaking styles. And I would implement this into my own style. And you know what? It worked, sort of. I got better views, my subscriber count started to grow, but something still felt off. I felt like a fraud because I wasn't truly being me. I was being a cheap imitation of someone else. Plus, I was always one step behind. By the time I would copy their successful video idea, the trend had already moved on. After months of this, I had grown by a little bit, but it wasn't much. I was miserable. I dreaded making videos because I knew I was just playing a character instead of being authentic. And I wasn't truly doing what I wanted to do. That's when I realized my second big mistake. You can't build a sustainable business on someone else's personality, especially when you're building a personal brand. People want you for who you actually are. They want to know the true you. And then there was my third attempt, and this was actually my most painful failure because I was so close to success. More than I had ever been before. I had found my authentic voice, at least I thought, and I was posting consistently, sometimes on a daily basis. This was when I truly felt like I was thriving, but something was still off. I was seeking wise counsel and I hired a coach, and I learned how to do YouTube the right way, not just the way that I thought it was. But then I realized that I was leaning too much on his style, and I didn't have a style of my own. I ended up going through the motions in every video and doing things that didn't feel like me. And after a while, I felt like I was trapped. And this is when my channel really started to take off. But I didn't know what direction I was headed. I saw a lot of growth, but like I said, I had nothing solid behind it. My content was getting amazing engagement, and I even hit millions of views on some of my shorts. But I was working like crazy and I had no spare time. I started to reach a point of burnout, and sometimes I would spend a whole day almost just filming. It was overwhelming and I had no solid system behind what I was doing. And here's the craziest part. Even though my channel was growing, I was barely making any money doing it. I couldn't connect the dots and figure out what I had been doing wrong. And the truth is, I had no clear path from viewer to customer. I had no products, no services, and no business model. I was building an audience for nothing. After almost a year of grinding, I was completely burnt out, broke, and ready to quit. I had invested so much, but I felt like I was getting nothing out of it. I remember just sitting and looking at my phone and watching these videos of people who I knew had sustainable businesses behind their YouTube channels, and they were making lots of money, getting the views and getting the subscribers, and I wanted to be there so bad. I kept feeling like I wasted so much time, and that was literally my rock bottom moment. But sometimes rock bottom is exactly where you need to be to finally build a solid foundation. The breakthrough came when I stopped asking how to get more subscribers and started asking the right questions. Who exactly am I trying to help? What specific problem do I solve better than anyone else? And how can I turn my content into a real business? And how can I do all these things with a solid system so that content creation would not consume my entire life? That shift in thinking was what changed everything. Instead of being a YouTuber trying to get famous, I became an entrepreneur using a strategic YouTube business tool. And that was the Lion Strength system that I created. And it's a system that doesn't just focus on content creation, but it focuses on mindset and building a business. I had this revelation that the most successful creators aren't just content creators. They are business owners who happen to create content. Let me say that again. They are entrepreneurs who create content, not simply just content creators. My lion strength system is built on a simple premise. Just as lions in the wilderness don't chase every and any animal, rather they position themselves strategically and let the right opportunities come to them. Instead of desperately chasing subscribers, views, and validation, I was determined to build a system that attracted my ideal clients consistently and predictably. The framework has 6 main components, which I'll break down in detail. There's the master mindset, which is getting your head right before anything else. This is so important because if you are not in the right headspace, it might get tough and it might get hectic. But when you have the right mindset, you can do anything. And my real success in mindset has been using biblical principles. And these principles will work for anyone. No matter who you are or where you're from, the principles do not change. Then there's magnetic messaging, which is all about crafting content that will naturally attract your ideal clients. Authority branding, which is positioning yourself as the person to follow in your space. The Lion Strength content calendar, which is what I still use to this day to create consistently without burning out. The Lion Strength content method, which is basically understanding YouTube as a whole, understanding what type of platform it actually is and how to use it efficiently. This is where you learn the true keys to sustainable growth on YouTube. And then there's the Lion Strength scaling system, and this is what converts your viewers into your clients, and from there into revenue. But here's what makes this different from every other YouTube strategy, and trust me, I have tried a lot of them, is that this is not just about growing a channel. This is about building a real personal brand and business, and something that will give you actual real freedom. And the results of this are actually shocking. And it made me realize how crazy it is that the majority of us think that views and subscribers actually make a difference. Let me tell you something. It makes zero difference if those views and subscribers are not converting into leads or clients. And when you're posting like this on YouTube, you're setting up digital real estate. You make a video one time and it keeps working for you 24/7 throughout the years. When I first implemented this, I was working fewer hours than I had ever worked before. And that was just the beginning. Over the next year, I just kept growing and growing. But more importantly, I was building my business. But let me be clear, this is not about me. This is about you. This is about the system that I have built because I now use this exact framework to help others to see the success that I have seen. To build authority, attract clients, and create freedom through strategic content creation. Everything starts with your mindset because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't believe that you deserve success, you'll sabotage yourself every time. Most creators operate from a scarcity mindset. They think there's too much competition and everything has already been said before. You might be thinking that you're not qualified to teach something, or you might be thinking, who am I to charge premium prices? But here's what I have learned. Your experience is your expertise, and you don't need to be the world's leading authority. You just need to be one step ahead of the people that you are helping. The mindset of a master is about shifting from being an imposter to being the authority in your industry. This isn't just positive thinking. This is actually rewiring your brain to operate like someone who's already successful. Because confidence is not something that you can just find. It's something that you have to build through action. And just as the Bible states, faith without works is dead. And the Bible also says that faith can move mountains. Your message is your magnet. But most creators get this completely wrong. They think that their message is all about them, their story, their achievements, and their credentials. But for magnetic messaging to work, you need to be focused on your ideal clients. You should obsess over their problems, their desires, and their transformation. Here's what you need to identify. What is the specific problem that keeps your ideal client awake at night? And what is their dream? What will their life look like once this problem is solved? And then what is the unique approach that you have that will get them from their pain where they're at now to their dream? For example, I don't try to go around acting like I'm some sort of expert that's better than everyone else. I help entrepreneurs go from invisible and insecure on camera to confident authorities who attract premium clients through strategic content creation. My main focus is helping you to grow, and I spend quite a lot of time researching and investing in opportunities so that I can learn how to serve you better. And at the time of filming this video, I have invested more than $20,000 in learning everything I possibly can about YouTube and sales and how to connect them all together. I have sought wise counsel and positioned myself under them in order to give my clients the best. So what's the difference? On one side of the coin, it can be all about you, or it could be all about them. It should be all about the transformation that you can provide them. When you nail your messaging, content creation becomes easy because you always know exactly who you're talking to. Authority branding is about becoming the obvious choice in your industry. Not the cheapest option, but the best option. Most creators try to appeal to everyone, but they end up appealing to no one. Authority branding is about being polarizing in the right way. Here's how it works. In the authority triangle, there's expertise. What do you know that others don't? There's expectation. What outcomes do you consistently deliver? And then there's exterior. This is your personality, what makes you uniquely you, what people see on the outside. When these three elements align, you don't just have a personal brand, you have an authority in your space. People won't just follow you for information, they'll follow you because you represent a specific transformation that they want in their lives. Just think about this. When someone mentions business strategy, who comes to your mind? When they mention marketing, who do you think of? When they mention your niche, are you one of the first people that they are going to recommend? That is authority branding in action. Following are the three components where most creators and entrepreneurs either make it or break it. Having a good content calendar is crucial. This isn't just about posting consistently, but it's about posting strategically. Every piece of content serves a purpose in your client acquisition system. I use a 4-pillar content method. There's mindset, which is what I explained before, which is learning how to get your mindset right for the long term in content creation and business. Method is how you execute the plan. Monetization, which is learning how to turn your content into revenue. And multiplication, which is scaling and learning to make the most of every opportunity that you get. And you can cycle through these pillars systematically, ensuring that your content builds authority, creates connection, and naturally leads to conversions. The Lion Strength content method is where you learn about YouTube psychology and how it works, understanding how the algorithm works, and how viewer behavior affects your reach and how to create content that YouTube wants to promote. But it gets a lot deeper than that. It's about actually creating genuine value in a format that people actually want to consume. And then there's scaling, where you turn your viewers into clients. Most creators have no system for this. They just hope that somehow, in some way, someone will hire them. But with Lion Strength scaling, every viewer will enter a predictable journey. First, there's discovery, where they discover your content and actually get value from it. Naturally, this makes them want more. Then there's connection. They subscribe and engage with multiple videos. Third is consideration. They join your email list or they follow you on other platforms. Fourth is conversion, where they become a client or customer. And then 5, they become a champion. They start telling everyone about your content and how much you have helped them. Each part of this journey has specific content types and strategies that are designed to move people naturally to the next level. Now that you understand what success looks like, let me show you why 97% of creators fail. Because if you can avoid these 3 mistakes, you're already ahead of almost everyone. Number 1 is that they treat symptoms instead of the causes. When their channel isn't growing, they focus on tactics, better thumbnails, trending topics, and posting times. But the real issue is usually the strategy. They don't know who they're talking to or who they're serving. They don't understand the transformation that they provide them either. Number 2 is that they build an audience without a business model behind it. They measure their success all by vanity metrics, subscribers, views, likes, but none of that will pay the bills. They have no clear path from viewer to customer. And then number 3 is that they try to do everything themselves. They think they need to be the best video editor, thumbnail designer, script writer, and marketer. They believe that they can do everything on their own and they don't even need a coach. And one thing that I have learned from my coach is that even the best coaches still need a coach. And he says to never trust a coach that doesn't have a coach. Successful creators are CEOs who build systems and teams, not solopreneurs who do everything on their own. Here are some statistics that might shock you. 97% of YouTube creators make less than $1,000 per month from their channels. 85% of them quit within the first year, and only 3% ever build a sustainable business behind their content. But here's what's interesting. That 3% who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the most charismatic or even the best on camera. They're the ones who treat content creation like a business and not a hobby. They have systems and they have strategies. And most of all, they have business models that turn attention into income. That's exactly what the Lion Strength system is designed to create. Systematic, predictable business growth through strategic content creation. Here's where most people get stuck. They learn this information, they get excited, and then they say, this is exactly what I need. And then they do nothing. Because knowing and doing are 2 completely different things. Implementation is where dreams can become your reality, or they can just stay as a someday fantasy. That's why I want to give you something practical that you can start with today. I've created a free guide called the 5 content mistakes killing your growth and how to fix them. This isn't just theory, it's a practical workbook that will walk you through how to identify your content blind spots, the specific mistakes that are keeping you invisible, step-by-step fixes that you can implement this week, and a plan to start building actual real momentum. You can grab it right now using the link in the description below. But here's my challenge to you. Don't just download it and let it sit on your computer. Actually implement it into your business and your content creation strategy right now. Because here's what I want you to understand. You're not just building a YouTube channel. You're building a legacy. You're building freedom. You're building the life that you actually want to live. 6 months from now, you could be the go-to authority in your industry. 12 months from now, you could have clients reaching out to you instead of chasing them down. 2 years from now, you could be living the kind of life that most people only dream about. But it starts with a decision. The decision to stop consuming content about success and start creating content that builds actual success. If you're ready to stop being invisible, and if you're tired of playing small, if you want to finally build something that gives you both impact and income, then grab that complimentary guide and let's make it happen. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel because I have so much more that I would love to teach you. And I upload a new video every Wednesday using the exact system that I shared with you today. Your authority is waiting and your audience is waiting. Your dream clients are waiting. The only question is, are you ready to claim what is rightfully yours? And if there's anything I can help you with, hit me up down in the comments. I would love to connect with you. I'll see you in the next video. And in the meantime, let's create with confidence.